A question for the ages: why did Griffith bang Charlotte? On your first watch through, you may have been thinking, Griffith is irrationally mad at losing guts, and being a slave to his emotions, he looks for a brief escape with the princess. When it comes to your second read through of Berserk, perhaps you're thinking, Griffith isn't driven by his emotions at all. Sleeping with Charlotte was always part of the plan for marrying into the Midland royal family and attaining his dream, his own kingdom. And by your third read through of Berserk, it's all clicked into place. Griffith had no agency in this one night stand, and he himself is just riding the currents of causality, pulled by the thread of fate. And considering the blood on the bed after and the ripples in the continuity to follow, maybe it's fair to say that it's not the Skull Knight, but Griffith that has the one true sword of actuation, considering how profound and far-reaching the effects of Griffith's dick have been thus far. Especially if you think back to humble beginnings in the formative years of the Band of the Hawk and remember just how Griffith financed the resources needed to keep the mercenary group operational. Gay for pay. Sure, the oldest profession in the world, ends to a mean and exceptionally effective. But more than that, Griffith had once again used his own body in order to manipulate the upper echelons of society, one of the most powerful men by status in the world, controlling an army of 30,000 and dominating the 100-Year War, the head of the Tudor forces occupying Doldry, the one, the only noble Genin. But all of that status, all of those soldiers and armaments melt before Griffith, who brings Genin to his knees by carnal desire alone. Griffith has him hook, line and sinker. Okay, back to Princess Charlotte. Stemming from chapter 358, perhaps a better question to ask ourselves would be, why is Griffith still banging Charlotte? An effort to ease her female hysteria? Or is it simply out of necessity to maintain their relationship for the sake of his goals? Or perhaps there is still some of Griffith's humanity there, seeking comfort in flesh. I mean, surely all this humping is just adding fuel to Sonya's fire, stoking the flames of envy, and she, with a baylet, will summon the other members of the God Hand, excluding Griffith of course, sacrifice her medium abilities, turn into a war demon herself, and betray Griffith by slaughtering Charlotte. Now that would be fitting, considering how nearly every scene with Sonya, with exception of her making friends with Shirke, unfolds and ends with her in fits of jealousy over how Griffith dotes on Charlotte. Ultimately, whether Griffith truly loves Charlotte is a big question I'd love to have answered in due course of the series. Sure, it isn't as pressing as how and when Guts will defeat Griffith, but for me personally, that narrative is just a side quest. And Guts' plight for me is just a vehicle to consume more world building and story centered around Griffith and Femto. Now, there's more to this discussion with the argument that Griffith's humanity was entirely lost after the eclipse, portrayed by Miura in the lifelessness drawn in Griffith's eyes after his rebirth. And this in itself says a lot about Griffith's capacity to love, not taking into consideration the speculation on his humanity being retained in the Moonlight Boy, but hey, that's another topic for another day. This was Anime Fried Chicken. Subscribe for more anime and manga videos straight to your feed. I do discussion videos on all sorts of anime and manga through the week and cover weekly published manga at the weekends. Stick around and grab my next anime or manga video. Due to the overwhelmingly positive response and popularity of my previous Berserk video, I guess I'll make a couple more. I'll catch you guys next time. Cheers.